Ancient Greeks had nuclear weapons in Santorini and Crete, according to strange evidence. This is the palace of Knossos in Heraclean Crete, and this is one of the areas where they have found evidence that the ancient Greeks had atomic energy because of what they found. This is translated from a Greek article I found for you. Apollonius Rhodes, in his writing of Argonauts, verses 298 to 299, says, "When the Harpies and Iris split, and they went to their caves in Crete of Minos." The Harpies are supposedly UFOs. Ku Dariva's comment says, "This is what they are interpreting today. The UFOs went to Tsutsuros mountain in Crete. This is a cave for some reasons, and it radiates a lot. There's a lot of radiation coming from there. This is an undeniable fact. There are now rumors that 4 UFOs have been found there that have been sold to the United States. There are rumors, and I may be dealing with the area of Tsutsuros again," he says. "A few months ago, there was a discovery in the palace of Knossos, the images that I show you here, in Heraclean Crete, found by Evans, the archaeologist. Now, the palace of Knossos, that archaeologists literally fell from the clouds when they discovered this. This discovery was made in the palace's storage rooms, which are located behind the throne room. And the throne is what I'm showing you now. So this is the throne room of the Knossos palace in Heraclean Crete. And the item was found behind this throne room. All right, the discovery made in the palace's storage rooms located behind the throne room on the east side of the palace. So studying the storerooms, which were described by the archaeologist Evans as warehouses 100 years ago, they studied the material that made the pockets in the floor. And to their great surprise, they saw that the materials in these quote-unquote containers in the warehouses was made of lead. And we know that lead and its derivatives are today used as a metal. It's a metal to protect against dangerous radiation. Okay, so from gamma rays specifically, radioactive materials, etc., corrosion and use in warehouses, so that the lead containers would be for storage of materials of these radioactive elements. And so why would these lead containers be used as storage containers if they were not for materials that were radiating gamma rays? The mere thought of the Minoans knowing about radioactive materials and their properties 3,500 to 4,000 years ago caused a storm of a debate. New theories have emerged on various topics which until a few years ago would sound crazy to most people. For example, they claimed that the Minoan civilization in Santorini were destroyed because of a nuclear bomb blast. Specifically, there is an opinion which seems unbelievable, and I'll write it below. He says that Santorini, besides the port, had a nuclear reactor which was shut down by accident or by sabotage. Is this nuclear eruption the cause and the reason for the volcano being rekindled? But bombs are also likely to have fallen on Crete, and the destruction of the Minoan civilization has occurred. Nuclear weapons in Santorini, we're talking about ancient civilization. Nuclear weapons in Crete, sounds crazy, but don't bother reading. Now, it says here that in Santorini, they found green vitrified rocks, which means an instantaneous temperature rise of 100+ degrees, which is by no means volcanic, since the temperature of the hot volcanic magma does not reach such temperatures. Such vitrified rocks were formed in the first nuclear test in America carried out in New Mexico in the desert sands. The high temperature believed developed during the atomic bomb blast transferred the silicon of the sand, made it green glass. So coming to Crete now, there are human footprints found on plates in various parts of southern Crete on beaches and heading all the way to the sea. And what does that mean? For some reason, people on the south coast ran to the sea to escape something. The traces left in the sand before they were erased by the waves solidified as the wet sand became solid. Geologists and experts in these materials have come to the conclusion that this petrification of sand can only come from a nuclear explosion because it only reaches such a high temperature. Because I don't have space, I close the issue quickly. He says here, the people of Crete knew that they could be attacked by nuclear bombs. We're talking about ancient Cretans, the ancient Cretans. So they built the maze for refuge. There's a maze under the Knossos palace in Crete. Yes, a maze, you know, the underground labyrinth. So they built a maze, the underground labyrinth, for refuge, shouting to Daedalus, who was the most skilled, and the disaster came after that. Daedalus was the person who supposedly designed this. And the disaster came after this. That is to say, they came and built the maze in Santorini, as in Crete, the glazed green rocks, such as this image of what we have here in this video. So, please tell me what you think about this. This is amazing because this is something that, of course, modern technology teaches us. Physics, the temperatures of atomic blasts in physics tell us that the glass can only, the silicon can only turn to glass at these temperatures, and these temperatures are not what a volcano can give, the Santorini volcano, for example. So please leave your comments. I think this is really fascinating, and I hope they'll find out more information about this. Now, we know that the ancient Atlanteans had very advanced technology. They had this type of technology. And we know that they also lived in the North Pole. There are some who think that Europe was over the North Pole at that point, from what we know from one of the ancient maps that they recently had. I made a video of this a couple of days ago. They constructed a globe in one of the Archimedes museums in Greece, showing how the Earth was, and it showed that Europe, basically Germany, was over the North Pole. In the equator, you had the south, you had the tip of Africa over the equator, and under that you had, under the equator, you had Atlantis, not Atlantis, sorry, Antarctica. So Antarctica was closer to the equator, much closer than it is obviously today. Antarctica is over the South Pole, but anyway, they had the Hyperboreans of the North Pole, which were actually where Germany where Germany was over the North Pole. They had tremendous advanced technology. They even had what they called the lightning rod of Zeus, and that instrument was given to Alexander the Great, somehow passed on to him, and he buried it when he reached the end of the coast of China, opposite Japan. And there is a copy of that, the lightning rod of Zeus that Alexander the Great had, in one of the Tibetan monasteries of Nepal. So obviously these ancients had a lot of advanced technology, and this glass, this nuclearly melted glass, is evidence that something happened there. And hopefully they'll get to the bottom of this. This is very interesting. Please leave your comments, subscribe, share, and ring the bell for more updates. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.